Last night, there were a lot of people who were running around on social media, including prominent journalists, people who have platforms, who are supposed to be held responsible for what they say in the public square, at least by the public, were out there saying things like this. Here is Kamala Harris's niece. The Atlanta shooting was not even a week ago. Violent white men are the greatest terrorist threat to our country. Now, I want to be very clear about this, okay? I want us to be very straightforward. There is nothing that you can say as a liberal, as a Democrat now, that is too degrading about white people. No matter what it is you say, it'll be considered okay as long as you are denigrating whiteness. Denigration of whiteness is complete. In fact, it's not only is it all right, it's socially encouraged. That's why people do this. That's why they virtue signal with the denigration of whiteness all the time. Problem, of course, is that referring to white terrorists as the biggest threat to this country, or that white terrorism is the biggest threat to this country right now, right after a shooting, when we know that, in fact, the individual who committed the act, allegedly, but we know it, is this guy whose name is Ahmad al-Issa. He is a Muslim, and, oh yes, he hates Trump. Trump, you see the individual here, the guy's 21 years old, he hates Donald Trump, sees Islamophobia everywhere. I mean, he's really somebody who you would expect to be watching MSNBC and reading Vox.com and reading the New York Times editorial page. I mean, that's the kind of mindset with Islamophobia that you could expect. Here he is on his Facebook page. He inherited a growing economy and the unemployment rate was low, but then he won because Trump won because racism. So the guy who shot up a grocery store for no reason that anybody can even point to right now was a Muslim anti-Trumper, almost certainly a leftist, and we're told that this was because of white supremacy. Amazingly enough, there were people that are arguing that it's close enough as a Muslim and as an Arab. A guy was born in Syria, as an Arab American. It's close enough to white that it still falls under the concept of white supremacy. That's what was being argued by blue check liberals on Twitter today. And here we have, Rosanna Arquette. These people are morons in Hollywood and a lot of the journos out there too. She was saying, call it what it is, white supremacist domestic terrorism. Do you think that she feels dumb about this? Do you think that she has any problem with this now that it clearly, he's not a white guy and he's not a Trump supporter. So what does that do to the narrative all of a sudden? Here is the head of race and inclusion, the race and inclusion editor at USA Today, a publication that still exists. Himal Javeri, it's always angry white men, always. That's what she said last night. It's always angry white men. Wow, isn't it fascinating? It was actually an Arab Muslim guy who hates Trump. I want you to be very clear on this because this is important. They're not embarrassed by this. The people that say these things, they aren't sad or they don't feel foolish. They don't have any ethical problem with being so wrong. This was an opportunity, don't you see, for leftists across the country. There's a mass shooting. They see an opportunity to spit in the faces of Republicans, of Trump supporters, of white men who don't agree with them politically, so white conservative men. They saw an opportunity to spit in those people's faces, and they took it. And they have no regrets about that, because that's who they are. That's what the left is all about. We have a pretext to be vicious to you, to blame you for something. We're not going to apologize. The whole point is that we got to have fun cursing you out, smearing you online. This is who the left is. This is who votes for Joe Biden. This is what the Democrat Party has become. There'll be no apologies for this. They don't care that they were wrong, that they lied, that they smeared people. Didn't matter. Let's move on to the next one. Hey Team Buck, thanks so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you liked the video, click that little thumbs up button. And if you want to see more great content from The First, please click subscribe.